Beloved chosen ones, you, yes, you, have just been divinely guided to this moment. That's not random. That's not luck. That is spiritual alignment. And if you've been feeling hated, rejected, misunderstood, or attacked for no clear reason, this message is your confirmation. No, you're not imagining it. You're not being too sensitive. And you're definitely not crazy. You are chosen. And what you've been experiencing, it's not just emotional, it's not just social, it's spiritual warfare. Because chosen ones don't fight average battles. Let me ask you something real. Have you ever walked into a room and felt a shift in energy without even speaking? Have you noticed people either drawn to you or instantly resistant, sometimes for no reason at all? Have you lost friends simply for evolving? Have you been attacked just for telling the truth? If so, you're not alone. And more importantly, you are not the problem. You are the proof. This message is for the ones who were never meant to fit in, the ones who have always stood out without trying, the ones whose very existence seems to challenge, confront, and expose what others are too afraid to face. Today, we're going to break it down and go deep. We're going to uncover exactly why most people hate the chosen ones, and why that hate is not something to fear, but something to understand. Before we dive in, I want to take a moment to express sincere gratitude to every single soul who has supported this message through super thanks. Your generosity, whether big or small, is never taken lightly. It's because of people like you that these truths continue to reach those who need them. And if you feel led to give today, know that your support helps us keep this light shining. But even if you can't give, your presence, your energy, and your engagement mean the world to us. Whether you donate or not, I want you to know you are deeply appreciated. Now, if your spirit is already resonating with this word, do something prophetic. Type 777 in the comments right now. That's not just a number, that's an agreement. That's your spirit saying, yes. This message is for me. I am chosen. Chosen ones, here's the truth most people will never understand. The world does not hate those who play it safe. It doesn't come for the crowd followers, the rule abiders, the comfort seekers. No, the world resists those who refuse to be controlled. It targets the ones who shine too brightly. It attacks the ones who carry light in dark places, and that's why it's been coming for you. You don't just exist, you disrupt. Your very presence makes people question their own darkness. Your energy, your purpose, your spiritual authority, it all carries weight. And whether you speak it out loud or simply stand in a room, people feel you. Some admire you, others resent you, and many fear you, because what you carry cannot be explained, contained, or ignored. But today, everything changes. You're going to stop internalizing their hate. You're going to stop questioning your worth. And you're going to understand that their reactions are not a reflection of your flaws, but a reflection of your frequency. What they feel isn't dislike, it's discomfort, it's exposure, it's the collision between your light and their shadow. So take a deep breath, lean in, because what you're about to hear is going to shift the way you see yourself and the way you respond to every single person who ever tried to make you feel small. Let's get into it. God's chosen ones. Why do most people hate you? The truth they won't tell you. You feel it, don't you? That tension in the room when you walk in, that sudden shift in energy, the way conversations pause, how glances are exchanged when your presence fills a space. You've done nothing but exist, and yet somehow your very being unsettles people. Why is that? Because when you're chosen, your mere existence disrupts the spiritual ecosystem of this world. You were not placed here to blend in, but to wake the sleeping, to challenge the status quo, to dismantle generational curses and bring truth where there's been centuries of silence. But ask yourself, Do you really think darkness would applaud that mission? Do you really believe a world ruled by fear, illusion, and deception would welcome a light bearer with open arms? Of course not. When you walk in truth, the lies begin to tremble. When you carry divine clarity, the confusion others depend on starts to crumble. That's why you're a threat. Not because you speak loudly, but because your very soul exposes everything false. Have you noticed how the attacks intensify the moment you begin stepping into your purpose? People who once celebrated you suddenly turn cold. Friends begin to vanish. Family grows distant. And strangers go out of their way to sabotage what they don't understand. It's not because you did something wrong. It's because you did something sacred. You obeyed your calling. And that obedience alone causes resistance. It always has. The truth is, your light offends the shadows people are still hiding in. Your strength confronts their passivity. Your freedom threatens their chains. As Jesus said in John 15:18, "If the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first." That hatred isn't random, it's revelation. It reveals your rank in the Spirit. It confirms that you are carrying something precious. Look at Malala Yousafzai, the young girl who simply wanted an education and ended up disrupting systems of oppression. They tried to silence her with violence. Why? Because her truth was more dangerous than their control. Or think of Nelson Mandela, hated, imprisoned, and labeled a threat for standing up against apartheid. He was chosen to bear a heavy mantle. So are you. And just like them, you're not hated because of weakness. You're hated because of power. You may ask yourself, why do they hate me when I've done nothing but love? But now is the time to shift that question. Ask instead, why does my love expose their wounds? You irritate unhealed souls. You awaken slumbering spirits. That's not rejection, it's divine confirmation. You carry what many fear to face. And if you've been isolated, rejected, or misunderstood, hear this. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Matthew 5:11. That's not punishment, that's proof of your anointing. You've always felt different, haven't you? As if you were seeing life through a lens others couldn't access. You sense things they ignored. You ask questions no one dared to ask. And while others chased validation and approval, you search for something deeper. Why? Because you are chosen. But let's be clear, being chosen isn't about superiority. It's about sacred responsibility. It's not about what you receive. It's about what you must endure to deliver what others can't. Think of Princess Diana. She didn't conform to royalty's tradition. She carried a heart that saw the suffering of others, and they hated her for it. Why? Because her compassion exposed their coldness. And what does it mean to truly be chosen? First, the chosen ones are spiritually awake. While most drift through life asleep, numbed by distractions, you have awakened. You see beneath the surface. You feel the energy in a room. Your intuition doesn't just whisper, it warns. You've dodged betrayals, caught red flags, and avoided pitfalls simply because your spirit spoke louder than your eyes could see. That's not coincidence, that's divine design. Like Joseph in Genesis 41, who interpreted dreams while others ignored their meaning, your discernment is a gift that saves. Second, the chosen carry divine purpose. Nothing in your life has been random. Not the heartbreak, not the betrayal, not even the seasons of silence. All of it was preparation. Remember Oprah Winfrey? Her childhood was marked by trauma and abuse. But through it, she discovered her voice. Today, her influence touches generations. She didn't just survive, she was chosen to thrive so others could live through her testimony. Like her, you were sent to fulfill a mission, maybe to heal, maybe to lead, maybe to break the chains your ancestors couldn't. Your purpose is not an accident, it's a divine assignment. Third, the chosen have unshakable spirits. Life has thrown fires at you that should have left you ashes, but you're still standing. They underestimated your endurance. You've walked through storms others drowned in. You've lost more than you told anyone, and still smiled. Why? Because you were built with spiritual titanium. Isaiah 43. 2 promises. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. You are fireproof, not because of your strength, but because of the one who walks with you. Fourth, the chosen are often misunderstood. Your mind operates differently. Your soul vibrates on a higher frequency. Have you ever felt like the black sheep, even in a room full of people who love you? That's not loneliness, it's sacred separation. Your energy exposes pretenders. Your vision confronts the mediocre. Think of Elon Musk, labeled eccentric, ridiculed for dreaming too big. But now, the world follows his innovation. Misunderstanding is often the disguise that surrounds destiny. And fifth, the chosen are divinely protected. You shouldn't have made it this far, but you did, because something higher is guarding you. The car crash that didn't happen, the relationship that ended just in time, the depression that didn't consume you, that wasn't luck, that was grace. Psalm 91:11 affirms, "For he will command his angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways." Your protection is not conditional, it's eternal. No curse can override it. No plot can penetrate it. And yes, the chosen must often walk alone, at least for a season. It's lonely, yes, but it's also sacred. The Most High isolates those he intends to elevate. It's in the wilderness where the greatest revelations are received. Think of Moses, separated for years before leading a nation to freedom. His solitude was not punishment, it was preparation, just like yours. So, if you've been wondering why the world seems to hate you without cause, understand this: you are not hated for your flaws, you are hated for your favor. You are not cursed, you are chosen. You're not lost, you're being led. And no matter how many try to silence you, misunderstand you, or remove you, they cannot change your destiny. Romans 8:31 declares, "If God is for us, who can be against us?" You were not sent here to be liked. You were sent here to be light, and light, by nature, disturbs the darkness. So shine, boldly, relentlessly, without apology, because, chosen one, the hate you've received is only proof of the heaven you carry. Now, listen closely, chosen one, because this is the part they'll never admit out loud. This is why the world reacts so violently, so irrationally, so bitterly toward you. The truth is, the world does not hate those who blend in. It doesn't rage against the average or war against the predictable. It doesn't fight those who conform to its illusions, who move in silence, never question, and obey the false comfort of the crowd. No, the world reserves its deepest hatred for those who carry light, and that means you. Have you ever found yourself wondering, why are they treating me like this when I haven't done anything wrong? Has your presence stirred jealousy, gossip, or resistance from people you barely know? Have friends flipped without cause? Or family suddenly turned cold? If so, it's time you understand. This is not about your personality. This is about your presence. It's not personal, it's spiritual. They don't hate you. They hate what you carry, and what you carry is holy. This goes deeper than preference or petty rivalry. This is warfare. There's something ancient and eternal about the way darkness responds to light. Think about Jesus. What crime did he commit other than healing the sick, feeding the poor, and speaking truth? Yet the world crucified him. Why? Because the light has come into the world, and people love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. John 3:19. That scripture isn't just about history, it's about you. The same way they hated him without cause, they'll hate you, because you carry light. Let's break it down further. Number 1, your light exposes their darkness. You've probably noticed it, how rooms fall silent when you enter, how people get defensive even when you haven't spoken, how some smile with their lips but flinch in their energy. Why? Because your presence is a spotlight. You don't have to preach, you don't have to judge. The purity of your walk, the clarity of your aura, and the peace in your eyes are enough to trigger those who are still hiding behind masks. And when their secrets start to feel seen, when their illusions begin to crack in your presence, they look for someone to blame. That someone is you. Consider the life of Martin Luther King Jr. He didn't threaten people with violence. He didn't carry a sword. His weapon was truth. And still, the world responded with bullets. His peaceful walk disrupted systems. His light was too bright for those who profited from shadows. The same principle applies to you. You're not hated for who you are. You're hated for the light you reflect. And here's a question. Have you ever wondered why some people distance themselves the moment you start leveling up spiritually or mentally? That's not coincidence. That's conviction. Your growth forces them to see their own stagnation. Your freedom reminds them of their bondage. And that discomfort, it doesn't inspire self-reflection. It often provokes resentment. Have I now become your enemy by telling you the truth? Galatians 4:16. That's what Paul asked the early church, and it's the same question your life now echoes. Now let's look at another example. Lady Gaga. When she first emerged, her boldness made people uncomfortable. She didn't fit the mold. She embraced the misunderstood, spoke on trauma, and used her platform to expose pain that others tried to hide. And while many tried to cancel her, mock her, or label her as too much, what they really feared was the mirror she held up. She revealed a truth society wasn't ready to deal with. And like you, she didn't dim her light just to make others feel safe in their shadows. So ask yourself this: are you being attacked because you did something wrong, or because you're doing something right? Are you being excluded because you're toxic, or because your energy is too pure to be manipulated? What if every rejection was actually a form of spiritual redirection? What if the discomfort people feel around you is the universe using your presence to stir up their healing? The chosen ones aren't meant to be liked, they're meant to be light. And light doesn't ask for permission to shine. It simply enters, and darkness flees. That's why some people prefer to push you away rather than heal. Because healing takes honesty. It takes humility. It takes looking into the very mirror you become. Take Prince Harry, for example. When he began speaking out about the toxic systems in his environment, many called him a traitor. But the truth is, his courage to confront the silence and stand in authenticity was too disruptive for those who built their lives on maintaining appearances. He became a symbol of breaking generational strongholds, just like many of you have been called to do. The pushback wasn't about his choices, it was about his light. And still you wonder, should I dim myself to keep the peace? Should I hide parts of me so I'm less misunderstood? You weren't chosen to camouflage, you were chosen to confront. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Matthew 5:14. The world needs your illumination, even if it denies it at first. And don't forget about your divine assignment. Your light wasn't given to you for decoration. It was given for demonstration. You are here to reveal, to awaken, to disturb what needs to be dismantled. But that kind of presence comes with a price. So the hate you face, it's confirmation, not condemnation. Think of Frida Kahlo. Her pain became her art, her honesty, her unique expression, her defiance of cultural expectations. All of it challenged the conventional and made many uncomfortable. But she didn't hide. She created. She didn't silence her voice. She amplified it. And now, decades later, her light continues to liberate others. So, chosen one, don't shrink for anyone. Don't confuse their discomfort with your mistake. Don't internalize their rejection as your failure. Remember what Romans 8:18 says, "I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us." The rejection, the hate, the isolation, it's all part of the process that leads to your revealing. They don't hate you. They hate the mirror. They hate the truth. They hate the part of you that refuses to bow to the illusion. But no matter how uncomfortable your light makes them, never forget, you were never called to make people comfortable. You were called to awaken them, and awakening never happens quietly. 2. Now we get to a truth that makes the system tremble. Chosen one, you cannot be controlled. And in a world built on manipulation, that makes you a walking revolution. Most people, they're ruled by invisible chains. Chains of approval, chains of fear, chains of cultural programming so deep they don't even realize they're not thinking for themselves. But you broke the mold. You don't follow trends just because they're popular. You don't digest information just because it's repeated. You question, you discern, you resist the herd and honor your own voice. And in doing that, you become something dangerous, free. Let me ask you, how often have you felt like the odd one out because you didn't jump on the bandwagon? How many times have you been called rebellious, stubborn, or too intense just because you refused to submit to false authority? Understand this. Your resistance to control isn't dysfunction, it's design. You were made to question what others blindly obey. You were made to think when others settle for slogans. And that kind of inner independence threatens every system built on silence. Think of Rosa Parks. Her refusal to give up her seat wasn't just about a chair, it was a declaration that she could not be controlled. And her small act of defiance sparked a civil rights movement. Now ask yourself, what systems are shaking because of your presence? What cycles are breaking just because you refuse to play along? Your resistance is holy. Your refusal to be controlled is not rebellion, it's revelation. And that is why the world reacts the way it does. Let's take it deeper. The world is structured around obedience, not the good kind, but blind conformity. Governments push fear to keep the masses compliant. Media floods the mind with distractions and confusion. Corporations craft insecurity to sell you solutions to problems they created. And social structures teach you to fear standing alone, fear speaking up, fear being different. But chosen ones, they're immune to that programming. Why? Because the Holy Spirit leads them from within. As 2 Timothy 1:7 reminds us, "For God gave us a spirit, not of fear, but of power and love and self-control." You are not here to be owned. You are here to be led by God alone. Take Kanye West, for example. Controversial? Absolutely. But why does he draw so much fire? Because he refuses to conform. Whether you agree with his every move or not, his independence of thought, his refusal to be managed by Hollywood's invisible strings, that's what shakes people. They don't know how to deal with someone who isn't addicted to approval. And whether it's music, fashion, or faith, Kanye moves on God's timing, not man's agenda. That's the kind of inner power you carry. You're not easily swayed because you're spiritually grounded. Let me ask you another question. How many times has someone tried to silence your truth? Not because it was wrong, but because it was uncontrollable. How many times has your boldness made others nervous? Not because you were being disrespectful, but because you weren't afraid. That's the thing about chosen ones. We don't speak to be liked. We speak because we're sent. And the world, which thrives on fear, cannot digest that kind of fearlessness. You were sent to awaken minds, not entertain them. To liberate souls, not pacify them. That means people who benefit from control will always see you as a threat. But take heart. they saw Jesus the same way. In Mark 11:18, the chief priests and the teachers of the law heard this and began looking for a way to kill him, for they feared him, because the whole crowd was amazed at his teaching. He couldn't be bribed, couldn't be owned, couldn't be silenced, and neither can you. Let's bring in another example, Bob Marley. His music wasn't just reggae, it was resistance. His lyrics awakened generations, and the establishment hated it. They tried to silence him, discredit him, even eliminate him. But his message lived. His light couldn't be shut off, just like yours. Your voice might not be broadcast on radio waves, but in the spiritual realm, it echoes like thunder, and they feel it. So the next time you feel the pressure to fit in, to quiet down, to make yourself more acceptable, remember this: you weren't sent here to be palatable. You were sent here to be prophetic. You weren't designed to blend in with broken systems. You were called to confront them, and if you feel misunderstood or labeled for thinking differently, don't shrink, stand taller. Isaiah 30:21 says, "Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you, saying, 'This is the way, walk in it.'" That voice is divine guidance, not public opinion. And finally, think of David Goggins, a man who completely defied what the human mind and body are supposed to endure. His mental toughness, forged through pain, is the kind of unstoppable force this world can't categorize. They tried to label him too extreme, but when you are chosen, extreme is just another word for prepared. Your resilience, your refusal to give up, your hunger for truth, that's what makes you different. That's what makes you dangerous to darkness. So, chosen one, understand this clearly. Your inability to be controlled is not a flaw. It's your fire. It's the spark that awakens others. And yes, it comes with rejection. It comes with misunderstanding, but it also comes with favor, with legacy, and with divine backing. You are not here to fit. You are here to free. And freedom always causes friction in a world addicted to chains. They don't hate you because you're lost. They hate you because you can't be led by anything but the truth. And that truth, that power, that unshakable independence, it's why they fear you. Keep walking, keep breaking patterns, keep being uncontrollable, because the ones they can't control are the ones sent to change everything. 3. You've felt it, haven't you? That tension in the room the moment you walk in, even when you're smiling, even when you've said nothing at all. You're not loud, you're not confrontational, you're just there. And somehow that's too much for them. Why? Because your energy is too strong. Chosen one, your frequency is not like theirs. While most people are stuck in patterns of fear, ego, shame, and competition, your spirit is operating on a completely different wavelength, one grounded in purpose, truth, and divine power. You were born to vibrate higher, and to people living in low vibrations, your very presence is disruptive. It's like placing fire next to fog. One has to retreat. Your inner light is intense, even when you try to dim it. It stirs emotions in others that they don't want to face. So rather than grow, they attack. Rather than reflect, they project. It's not you they're rejecting, it's the mirror you unknowingly hold up. Proverbs 4:18 says, "The path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full light of day." You carry that light, and light, by nature, exposes what darkness prefers to ignore. Look at Maya Angelou. Her energy was truth. Her voice resonated through generations, not because she yelled, but because she carried an undeniable force of presence. People were drawn to her or repelled by her, but no one could ignore her. Just like you. Your peace is unsettling to those who rely on chaos. Your clarity confuses those who operate through manipulation. And your emotional intelligence, it threatens those who hide behind drama. So here's a question. Have you been trying to shrink your energy just to be accepted? Have you dimmed your fire to make others feel safe in their shadow? Stop. Your energy is not a problem. Their discomfort is not your responsibility. You weren't designed to fit their frequency. You were designed to elevate it. And sometimes elevation causes disruption. Let's go further. 4. Envy and jealousy. The truth that few want to admit is that most people are not living their true purpose. They've made choices from fear. They've given up dreams to feel accepted. They've buried their gifts beneath the expectations of others. And then you came along. You who dares to dream. You who walks in confidence. You who refuses to settle. Your life becomes a reminder of what they could have been, if only they had believed in themselves the way you do. It's not arrogance that triggers them, it's your authenticity. Your refusal to live small confronts their decision to shrink. So instead of doing the inner work to heal and rise, they take the shortcut. Envy. They criticize your path, not because it's wrong, but because it reveals their compromise. James 3:16 says, "For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice." Their chaos is not your fault, but your peace might be the spark that exposes it. Think about Serena Williams. Her success wasn't just athletic, it was spiritual. Her focus, her strength, her unapologetic excellence, these things sparked massive admiration, but also deep envy. Why? Because she didn't shrink to fit into the comfort zones of those who told her she didn't belong. And even with opposition, she kept winning, just like you will. Let me ask you this. How many people have tried to smile in your face while secretly hoping you fail? How many have whispered, "You've changed," when you started choosing growth? That's not love. That's envy in disguise. And envy doesn't need a reason. It only needs a witness. When people see the grace on your life, the favor, the blessings that seem to follow you, even if you're still in process, it triggers something in them they haven't healed. And yet they don't understand. What is yours was given, not earned in the eyes of man, but gifted by God. They can't steal it. They can't mimic it. They can't cancel what heaven has commissioned. Romans 11:29 affirms, "For the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable." What God has placed on your life is sealed, and no amount of jealousy can revoke it. Another example, think of Keanu Reeves. Quiet, private, consistent. He doesn't flaunt wealth, doesn't seek validation, and yet he walks in such centered confidence that people feel both inspired and insecure. He triggers reflection by simply being himself. Your energy may do the same. You weren't built to gloat, but you were built to glow. And your glow challenges those who are still hiding. So, chosen one, remember this. When people seem irritated by your joy, your clarity, your purpose, it's not personal, it's spiritual. Your energy is an alarm clock to a sleeping generation. Your power reveals where others have surrendered. Your success, even if quiet, reminds others of the greatness they forfeited. Let's close this section with truth. A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. Proverbs 14:30. You are a life giver, not a peace destroyer. Keep shining. Keep being kind, even when it's met with coldness. Keep rising, even when others hope you fall. Because no matter how many people envy your walk, they cannot walk in your shoes. You're chosen, and no one can take what's divinely yours. 5. Now we come to the part they really don't want you to realize, the spiritual battle against the chosen ones. Chosen one, this isn't just about human conflict. This isn't about petty arguments or social friction. This is war, a spiritual war. From the moment you entered this world, your light was noticed by realms both seen and unseen. You were marked by heaven and monitored by hell. That's why nothing about your life has been normal. That's why your childhood was harder. That's why you've been rejected more, hurt deeper, and betrayed faster than those around you. because the enemy recognized something about you long before you did. You are dangerous to darkness. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world. Ephesians 6:12. That verse wasn't just written for some ancient war. It was written for you. It explains the invisible resistance you felt all your life. People have turned against you, not because you were cruel, but because something in your spirit activated resistance in theirs. The gossip? A distraction. The betrayal? A test. The random attacks? Spiritual assignments against you. But what they fail to realize is that everything thrown against you only sharpened your sword. You've probably asked, why does it feel like I'm always under attack? That's because you are. But not because you're cursed, because you're called. Look at the story of Job. The enemy sought to destroy him, not because he was weak, but because he was favored. The attacks on your life are not indicators of your failure. They are confirmations of your future. The enemy doesn't waste resources on those who pose no threat. But you're a threat to every lie, every curse, every system of oppression, and the darkness knows it. Take Chadwick Boseman, a man who carried a divine assignment on his life. Despite battling cancer in silence, he continued to pour out excellence, courage, and faith into every role he took. The world didn't know his battles, but in the spiritual realm, he was fighting hard and still fulfilling his purpose. He didn't stop because of the struggle. He shined through it. That's your call too. No matter the warfare, you are built to overcome it. You are not fragile, you are fortified. Let me ask you something else. Have you mistaken spiritual warfare for bad luck? Have you interpreted repeated betrayal as personal failure? Don't. You need to reframe your experience. The people being used against you are not the enemy. They're pawns in a bigger game. The enemy uses weak, envious, and spiritually blind individuals to try to shake you. But each attack is a failed attempt, because every hit only reveals your resilience. Romans 8:37 reminds us, no, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. You are not just surviving, you're conquering. Now look at the betrayal of Jesus. Judas wasn't just a disloyal friend, he was a vessel for prophecy. His betrayal was the push that led Jesus to his destiny. And just like that, the betrayals in your life are not derailments. They're redirections. The people who turned on you, they played their part in pushing you closer to purpose. Don't let bitterness rob you of your vision. Let the pain purify your discernment. And here's the twist that terrifies the enemy. Every attack has made you stronger. Every time someone tried to break you, you came back wiser, sharper, and more refined. What the enemy hoped would destroy you has only developed you. What was meant to be your grave became your garden. Just like Joseph, betrayed by brothers, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and still rose to lead a nation. Genesis 50:20 speaks clearly. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done. And that's exactly what's happening in your life. Let's look at Meghan Markle. Her presence alone disrupted centuries of unspoken traditions and systems. She was relentlessly attacked, misrepresented, and targeted, not for wrongdoing, but for existing in her power. And though they tried to erase her identity, she stepped away with her voice intact, her integrity preserved, and her family protected. That's what it means to be chosen. You might be attacked, but you'll never be erased. So now, chosen one, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you silence yourself just to make others more comfortable? Will you suppress your light just because it blinds the ones still living in darkness? Will you compromise your calling just to be accepted by those who were never qualified to validate you? Absolutely not. This is not the time to shrink. This is not the season to hesitate. You were not called to be liked. You were sent to liberate. Your purpose was carved out in eternity and activated in time. Let them talk. Let them reject you. Let them plot. None of it can override God's plan for your life. John 15:19 says, "If you belong to the world, it would love you as its own. As it is, you do not belong to the world." That's your confirmation. You're not like them, and you were never meant to be. The spiritual warfare against the chosen ones, it's time to see it clearly. Chosen one. The battles you've endured were never ordinary. They were never just about hurt feelings, misunderstandings, or broken relationships. No, this has always been a war far beyond what the eyes can see. The pain, the betrayal, the resistance, these were never random events. They were precision attacks launched by spiritual forces that recognized your power before you even understood it yourself. Have you ever wondered why your life has felt like a battlefield from the start? Why rejection found you early? Why betrayal seemed to follow you wherever you went? It's because the enemy knew something about you before you did. You are chosen, and your awakening had to be stopped at all costs. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. John 10:10. The enemy's mission has always been to destroy what is divine. And since you were born with divine purpose, your life has been under attack. But let's be honest, those attacks didn't break you, did they? They shaped you. They awakened something ancient within you. And now your eyes are opening. You're beginning to see that the people who hurt you were just pawns in a spiritual conflict. The war is not physical. It's not about your neighbor who slanders you, your co-worker who envies you, or the relative who disrespects you. These people are being used. The real enemy is the unseen force working through them. Forces of fear, manipulation, and deception. Forces that have ruled this world in silence until now. And you are a threat, because chosen ones are not sent to maintain illusions. They are sent to destroy them. You're not here to entertain darkness. You're here to end it. You were sent to awaken minds, expose lies, break generational curses, and tear down systems that profit from silence. That's why you are attacked, not because of your personality, but because of your spiritual identity. Just like Esther was chosen for such a time as this, you were sent into the chaos with a mission to disrupt it. And that mission shakes the foundation of everything false. Think about Harriet Tubman. She wasn't just freeing slaves. She was dismantling systems. She was battling principalities. She walked through darkness with the light of deliverance in her soul. That's spiritual warfare. She risked her life not once but repeatedly because she understood that freedom was worth the fight. That same call to awaken and liberate rests on you, chosen one. You may not be leading an underground railroad, but your words, your energy, your mere presence is leading people out of mental, emotional, and spiritual captivity. Have you ever noticed that right before something good happens, the attacks seem to multiply? Out of nowhere, people start acting strange. Your body feels tired. Your mind feels foggy. Doubt creeps in. That's not random, that's resistance. And resistance always increases at the edge of breakthrough. That's when the enemy panics, because it knows that if you cross that line, you become unstoppable. The closer you get to the gate of purpose, the louder the opposition becomes. When the enemy comes in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Isaiah 59:19. What you feel in these moments isn't failure, it's confirmation. You are on the verge of something divine. And let's be clear, not everyone around you is who they seem to be. Spiritual warfare is subtle. It doesn't always look like chaos. Sometimes it looks like charm with hidden motives. Sometimes it sounds like encouragement laced with control. That's why discernment is your weapon. The enemy doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. It uses the insecure, the jealous, the prideful, and the greedy to get to you. But once you realize it's not the person, It's the Spirit operating through them. You stop wasting your strength on the surface. You move in wisdom. You rise above the drama. You stop bleeding for battles that aren't yours. You let God fight what only He can win. Serena Williams once said, "I've had people look past me, underestimate me, and try to break me, but I've never let their small vision define my mission." She knew the battles weren't just about sports, they were spiritual. She stood tall in a world that didn't expect her to win, and still dominated. That's the power you carry. You may be outnumbered in the physical, but you are surrounded in the spirit. So how do you fight back, chosen one? Not with rage, not with retaliation, but with alignment, with clarity, with faith. You fight spiritually, through prayer, through meditation, through walking in truth no matter the cost, through protecting your energy and limiting access. Everyone should not have a front row seat to your spirit. Your peace is holy. Your space is sacred. Submit yourselves then to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. James 4:7. That's your strategy. Align yourself with God, and no force of hell can remain. And yes, you are protected. The enemy didn't want you to know this, but it's too late. You've already survived what should have taken you out. You've already endured what others collapsed under, and you're still here, still rising, still glowing, because He will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. Psalm 91:11. You are not just fighting, you are being covered while you do. Think of Stephen in the book of Acts. As stones were being hurled at him, heaven opened. He saw the glory of God. That's what divine alignment does. It grants you access to vision, even in the middle of persecution. You're not alone. You're backed by something far greater. Every lie spoken about you will be silenced by the truth. Every weapon formed against you will fail. Every dark force sent to delay you will be dismantled. Chosen one, have you ever sat in silence wondering why people turn on you for no reason? Why someone you once loved suddenly resents you, or why someone you barely know seems to feel threatened by your very presence? Have you felt like life was positioning you in trial after trial, testing your heart, your faith, and your endurance? I need you to hear this clearly. This is not random. This is not misfortune. This is not just a string of bad relationships or bad luck. This is spiritual warfare. You are not being hated because of what you did. You are being hated because of who you are. From the moment you were marked as chosen, your energy became a disruption to a world that prefers comfort over truth. You are a walking contradiction to every lie the system teaches, and that makes you a target. Indeed, all who desire to live a godly life in Christ Jesus will be persecuted. 2 Timothy 3:12. You weren't sent here to be liked. You were sent here to shift atmospheres. That alone is enough to provoke hatred from those still asleep in the dark. Let's talk about the signs. Clear confirmations that the hate coming your way is because you are chosen. The first sign? Betrayal from those closest to you. You gave them loyalty. You gave them love. You would have sacrificed everything for them. And yet, they turned. Friends who once celebrated you became distant. Family members who should have protected you undermined you. Partners who vowed forever disappeared in silence or deception. Why? Because your spirit confronted their shadows. Because your growth reminded them of their stagnation. Because your elevation meant they could no longer control you. Remember Joseph, betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery not for a crime, but for a dream. And yet, that betrayal pushed him into purpose. The same is happening to you. That pain, it's your passage. Second sign, you're constantly misunderstood. No matter how pure your intentions are, people twist your actions. Your silence becomes arrogance. Your generosity is labeled manipulation. Your honesty makes people uncomfortable. And even when you explain yourself, they still refuse to understand. Why? Because you were never meant to be understood by everyone. You were sent to lead, not to be liked. Your insight is divine. Your frequency is high. The average mind doesn't have the spiritual bandwidth to comprehend your purpose. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. That misunderstanding is not rejection, it's reflection. You reflect truth to a world still addicted to lies. Look at Russell Brand, once dismissed for his rebellion, now redefined as a voice for spiritual awakening and truth. Misunderstood? Absolutely. But those who listen closely see the divine thread behind his transformation. Like you, he wasn't meant to be explained. He was meant to evolve. The third sign, envy follows you even when you have nothing. Even in your lowest seasons you noticed it. People watching you with suspicion, acting cold, or competing with things you weren't even trying to win. That's because envy is not always about what you have. It's about who you are. Even when you're in lack, they sense the favor on your life. Even when you're broken, you still radiate peace. Your spiritual wealth triggers those clinging to material validation. Wrath is cruel, anger is overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? Proverbs 27:4. They envy your confidence, your resilience, your divine protection. It's not about status, it's about presence. You carry a frequency they can't replicate, and so they hate what they can't copy. Think of Amy Winehouse. Before the world ever saw her fame, those close to her felt her presence, her voice, her depth, her rawness. It exposed the artificial, and because she couldn't be replicated, she was envied, isolated, and misunderstood. Her story, though tragic, mirrors the spiritual cost of authenticity. Like her, your truth makes people uncomfortable. The fourth sign, you've endured deep loneliness. The path of the chosen is rarely crowded. There have been seasons where you looked around and saw no one who truly understood you. You felt disconnected, like you were walking through life with a language only your soul could speak. That is not punishment, it is protection. Isolation is the forge where clarity is born. God removes distractions not to hurt you, but to prepare you. Therefore, come out from among them and be separate, says the Lord. Touch no unclean thing, and I will receive you. 2 Corinthians 6:17. You are being set apart for something greater. Your soul isn't compatible with every environment. That's not rejection, it's redirection. And let's not forget those moments when people tried to block your blessings. Those who smiled to your face but worked behind the scenes to delay you. That job that mysteriously fell through. That opportunity sabotaged at the last moment. The sabotage didn't come from strangers. It came from people you once trusted. But what they didn't understand is that favor can't be stolen. Your blessings are encoded in your DNA. Your purpose is written in a script that man can't edit. What God has blessed, no one can curse. Numbers 23:20. Their blocks only built the stage for your breakthrough. Look at Tyler Perry, rejected by networks, mocked by critics, and dismissed by Hollywood. But today, he owns the studio lot where they once told him he didn't belong. He didn't fight the hate, he used it. So can you. And despite it all, you rise. You're still here. After all the gossip, the heartbreak, the spiritual warfare, you're still standing. You've walked through fires that should have consumed you. You've survived storms that were designed to drown you. That's not luck. That's divine insurance. You are spiritually armored, covered, chosen. And that's why no matter how hard they hit, they can't take you down. So what now? How do you walk through this level of hate without breaking? First, do not take it personally. This is not about you. It's about the spirit within you. People living in darkness will always resent those who carry light, and weak spirits will always try to destroy what they cannot control. Second, do not react emotionally. Wisdom is your armor. They want your reaction. They feed off your frustration. Don't give them your peace. don't let them drag you into a realm you no longer belong to. Rise above. Guard your energy. Speak life, not doubt. Third, protect your space. Not everyone deserves access to you. Chosen ones leak divine energy, and the wrong people will drain it. Be selective. Be wise. Your spirit is not for sale. Fourth, stay focused. Your mission is greater than their noise. Your purpose is too sacred to waste on proving yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Fifth, use their hate as fuel. Let it motivate you. Let their rejection become your redirection. Let their envy be the proof of your favor. Sixth, forgive, but don't forget. Let go of bitterness, but hold on to the wisdom. Not everyone who claps for you is on your team. You saw the truth. Believe it. And above all, walk in certainty. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. You are not just surviving, you are ascending. Their resistance was your training ground. Their hate was your confirmation. And their rejection, just divine protection in disguise. So keep rising, chosen one. Keep shining. Keep disrupting. Because no matter what they say, no matter what they do, no matter how loud their hate grows, it will never, ever stop what God has already set in motion. You are chosen. You are protected. You are unstoppable. And their hate? It's just the shadow cast by your light. Let it confirm what your spirit already knows. You're walking in divine purpose, and nothing can touch that. Chosen one, what if everything you thought was meant to harm you was actually heaven's way of promoting you? What if I told you that the hate you've experienced, the betrayal you endured, and the rejection you suffered weren't signs of failure, but of favor? This is the truth they won't tell you. The hate is a blessing in disguise. It's not a curse. It's not something to fear. It's spiritual confirmation. When you begin to recognize the hidden wisdom behind the hate, you'll stop asking, "Why me?" and start declaring, "Thank you, God. It's because I'm chosen." You see, the world conditions people to think hate is a sign they're doing something wrong. But spiritually, it's often proof that you're walking in alignment. Blessed are you when people hate you, exclude you, and insult you, because of the Son of Man. Rejoice in that day and leap for joy, because great is your reward in heaven. Luke 6:22-23. You're not hated because you're cursed, you're hated because you're called. The world doesn't attack the mediocre. It doesn't resist the conformers. It reserves its harshest weapons for those who carry light, divine energy, and purpose. People like you. Look around. You don't follow the crowd. You don't seek validation from the system. You walk with something rare, and the very fact that people resist you, gossip about you, or try to tear you down without cause is proof that your presence stirs something spiritual in them. Hate is a mirror. It reflects back to others the parts of themselves they haven't healed, the dreams they gave up on, the confidence they wish they had. And when your existence exposes their regret, they lash out not because of who you are, but because of what they lost in themselves. Oprah Winfrey once said, "Turn your wounds into wisdom," and she lived that. Rejected from local news stations, told she wasn't good enough, criticized for being too emotional, yet she became one of the most influential women of our time. Why? Because she recognized that hate wasn't her downfall. It was the fire refining her gold. Just like you, chosen one. Let's go deeper. Hate doesn't just reveal your power, it builds it. Without the resistance, you wouldn't have this level of strength. Without the betrayal, you wouldn't have this level of discernment. Without the rejection, you wouldn't have developed the boldness you carry today. If life had been easy, would you have found the spiritual muscle to stand alone? If everyone applauded you, would you have sharpened your voice? Every disappointment was training. Every back turned was strategy. Consider it pure joy, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. James 1:2-3. You weren't meant to be soft. You were meant to be unshakable. And hate, that was the spiritual gym that made you indestructible. And let's talk about rejection. You questioned it, didn't you? Wondered why certain people turned on you, why a door slammed shut, why something that felt right suddenly fell apart. But what if I told you that rejection wasn't punishment, it was protection? That relationship you lost, it would have drained your spirit. That job you missed, it would have pulled you off your path. That opportunity that slipped away, it wasn't aligned with your destiny. God doesn't just say no to stop you, He says no to save you. Take Michael Jordan, cut from his high school basketball team, laughed at, doubted, rejected, but instead of folding, he trained harder. That rejection lit a fire so deep, it made him legendary, and that same fire is in you. Chosen ones aren't just called, they're carved through trial, through pressure, through doors that close so better ones can open. And here's something else. Hate clarifies your circle. It separates the real from the fake, the loyal from the opportunistic, the supportive from the envious. Hate has a funny way of revealing who's truly with you. And though it hurts to lose people, it's a blessing, because not everyone is meant to walk with you into your next chapter. Do two walk together unless they have agreed to do so? Amos 3:3. Some people were only sent for a season, some came to test your strength, and some were just there to teach you how to let go. Megan Fox, often misunderstood, spoke of how the industry tried to control her image and stifle her voice. She faced hate not because she lacked something, but because she refused to be shaped by their narrative. She said, "I'm not going to apologize for who I am anymore." That's the power you step into when you stop fearing hate and start embracing identity. So how do you move forward when hate comes for you? First, don't take it personally. They aren't attacking the human version of you. They're attacking the divine calling within you. The hate is spiritual. It's not about your mistakes, it's about your mission. Second, do not react emotionally. They want your attention. They feed on your reaction. Don't give them access to your peace. Stay anchored. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. That means let divine justice speak louder than your rebuttals. Third, protect your energy. Not everyone deserves proximity. Your spirit is expensive. Treat it that way. Be wise about who sits at your table. Peace is not passive. It's strategic. Fourth, let hate be fuel. Let their whispers ignite your fire. Let their rejection sharpen your vision. Let their envy confirm your elevation. Greatness was never meant to be surrounded by comfort. It's built in resistance. And finally, forgive, but remember. Release bitterness, but don't forget the lesson. Don't let the same spirit wound you twice. Forgive them, not because they deserve it, but because you do. Look at Stephen Curry, overlooked, laughed at, called too small, too weak. But today, he changed the game, because instead of letting hate stop him, he used it, and now they can't deny him. So chosen one, hear this. Hate is your confirmation, rejection is your redirection, opposition is your training, and every time someone tries to block you, betray you, or bring you down, they're just proving how powerful you really are. You don't need to fight to be seen. You already are. You don't need to force your way forward. You're already on the path. You don't need to fear the hate. You need to thank it, because it's shaping you, lifting you, preparing you. One day soon, the very people who doubted you will have no choice but to watch you rise. And you won't even need to say, "I told you so." Your existence will be the proof. Keep rising, chosen one, because nothing, no lie, no jealousy, no opposition can stop what God has already written for you. And their hate, it's just a footnote in your divine story. Chosen one, everything you've endured, every heartbreak, every lonely night, every closed door and shattered expectation has all been leading to this precise moment. None of it was a mistake. None of it was wasted. What felt like chaos was actually divine choreography. The pain, the betrayal, the rejection, the isolation, they were all part of your awakening, part of your preparation for a purpose far greater than you ever imagined. From the very beginning, heaven marked you, and now it's time for you to realize what that truly means. You were never born to be ordinary. You were never created to live small. You are not here by chance. You are here by calling. You were chosen to lead, not to follow. Look around. The world teaches conformity. It praises the predictable, rewards the compliant, and shames those who think outside the mold. But you've never fit that mold. You've always questioned what others accepted. While they walked in circles, you dreamed of breaking free. That's not rebellion. It's divine resistance. You were born to challenge the system, to break through glass ceilings, to build where others only survive. And that's why people tried to clip your wings, because deep down they knew if you ever embraced your truth, you would become unstoppable. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. Your mind is different because your assignment is different. Your vision is disruptive. Your energy stirs conviction. And every attack you faced, it was designed to stop you before you stepped into leadership. But now that you know who you are, there's no turning back. Consider the story of Nelson Mandela. He didn't just rise from a prison cell. He rose from a system that tried to erase his voice. He didn't blend in. He didn't stay silent. He led with conviction. And though the world rejected him at first, it later recognized his light. Like Mandela, your courage to stand out is the very thing that makes you qualified to lead. But your journey doesn't stop at leadership. You were chosen to awaken others. Your life is a lamp, not just for you, but for those still stumbling in the dark. And that's why your path has been so painful. How could you guide others through fire if you've never walked through it yourself? How could you teach healing if you've never bled? Everything you've endured was not to break you, it was to equip you. You carry wisdom not learned in books, but earned in battle. He comforts us in all our troubles so that we can comfort others. 2 Corinthians 1:4. Chosen one, your scars have purpose, your testimony has weight. Your presence alone is a sermon for those who are silently suffering. That's why you shine. That's why people listen even when you speak softly, because your power is rooted in experience, not ego. Think of Maya Angelou, poet, prophet, warrior of truth. She survived trauma, rejection, and silence, but she used every wound to build a voice that healed nations. She didn't just inspire, she awakened. You too carry that same potential. The fire didn't burn you, it baptized you. You were also chosen to break generational curses. Maybe you were born into a family where no one healed, where trauma was inherited like tradition, where silence covered pain and dysfunction was passed down like a legacy. But you, yes, you are the interruption. You are the one they didn't expect, the one who sees the pattern and chooses to stop it. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. You're not cursed. You're called to be the first. First to rise, first to forgive, first to build something better. Consider Viola Davis, raised in poverty, surrounded by struggle, but destined for greatness. She didn't let her environment define her. She became a voice not just for herself, but for everyone who felt invisible. Your background doesn't disqualify you. It proves your assignment. The chains break with you. You were chosen to walk in divine favor. Have you noticed it? That no matter how many times life knocked you down, something always helped you stand again. When others crumbled, you rebuilt. When they counted you out, grace counted you back in. That's not random. That's supernatural. Favor follows you because you walk with purpose, and when purpose is present, heaven backs every step. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Psalm 23:6. Even in your darkest moments, angels were assigned to you. Even when you didn't feel it, divine help surrounded you. That's why doors open when you pray. That's why miracles find you in silence. You are covered. You are chosen. Look at Denzel Washington, bold in his faith, unwavering in purpose. He once said, "Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship." His success is not just talent, it's alignment. Like him, you are aligned with something higher. And as long as you keep walking in obedience, nothing can block what's been written for you. But here's the deepest truth. You were chosen to leave a legacy. You are not here to survive. You are here to shift history. Whether it's through your art, your voice, your service, or your story, what you do in this life will echo beyond your years. You are a seed that will become a forest, a spark that will light torches in others long after you're gone. That is legacy. And the world remembers those who dared to live differently. Look at Malala Yousafzai, a young girl whose voice defied violence, whose bravery shook nations. Her life, like yours, is not just personal, it's prophetic. So, chosen one, what do you do now? You stop shrinking. You stop apologizing for your light. You stop waiting for approval from those not qualified to define you. You walk boldly. You speak clearly. You rise relentlessly. Because no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love Him. 1 Corinthians 2:9. Your future is already written, and nothing, no hate, no delay, no betrayal, can stop what heaven has assigned to your name. This is your moment. You are chosen, you are powerful, you are protected, and your destiny is unshakable. Walk in it, speak from it, shine through it, because the world has seen enough imitation. It's time they meet someone real, and that someone is you. Beloved chosen one, if you've made it to this moment, know that it's not by chance. This entire message was divinely crafted for your spirit, for your journey, for the calling that rests so heavily on your life. You didn't just stumble upon these words. You were guided here. Every sentence you've heard has echoed what your soul has already been whispering for years. You were never ordinary. And now you know why. The resistance, the pain, the hate. It wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to build you. It wasn't rejection. It was redirection. It wasn't punishment. It was preparation for your divine position. And here you are, still standing, still rising, still glowing in the dark. Why? Because destiny refuses to let you quit. Because heaven placed something inside of you that can't be silenced, delayed, or destroyed. So now the question is, what will you do from here? You've received the truth. You've felt the confirmation in your spirit. The choice to step into your power is yours. You can no longer pretend to be average, to hide in spaces that were never meant to contain your greatness. You weren't made to shrink. You were made to shake this world. You weren't chosen to blend in. You were chosen to break through. You weren't sent here to be silenced. You were sent to lead, awaken, heal, and restore. And now, there's no turning back. To everyone who's been walking this journey with us, I want to pause for a moment and say, thank you. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for allowing these messages to speak into your life. If this word has stirred something deep within you, if you feel seen, if you feel strengthened, and you'd like to support the continuation of messages like this, you can donate through the Super Thanks feature right below this video. And let me be clear, whether you choose to give or not, we are grateful for you either way. Your support, through your time, your comments, your likes, and your energy, is powerful. This mission isn't built on money, it's built on alignment, purpose, and faith. And I honor every single one of you who continues to show up and walk this path with us. As you leave this message today, may you leave with boldness in your step, fire in your spirit, and clarity in your purpose. I declare that every lie spoken over you is being reversed. Every chain that tried to bind you is being broken. Every door that was shut against you will open in divine timing. May goodness and mercy follow you all the days of your life. Psalm 23, verse 6. May divine favor surround you like a shield. Psalm 5:12. May your enemies stumble before you and your strength multiply in the face of adversity. Isaiah 41:10. Chosen one, I bless your mind with peace, your body with strength, your path with protection, and your soul with purpose. You're not walking alone, you're being guided, you're being covered, and you're being prepared for something so much bigger than this moment. Let this be the day you stop apologizing for your light. Let this be the day you stop questioning your worth. Let this be the day you fully embrace the truth. You are chosen, you are powerful, and your destiny cannot be stopped. Now go, shine like the fire you carry. The world has waited long enough.